wanted to make it easy for shoppers to find their favorite brands and their items. My name is Miro. I am a solutions architect in engineering team here in UK. We created an interactive application for the shoppers in the stores where they can just ask or type the item that they are looking for, and the virtual world can then show where that item is located. The biggest challenge that we faced was really preparing the environment, building up shelves, storing fruits into the shelves.
The recognition piece is using the image taken from the camera. It takes a single picture, and then each fragment is sent to recognition to do the image recognition. So then once it recognizes what objects are, and then it updates a DynamoDB table. From the Dynamo table, the Sumerian model reads the element to show.
We were trying to display VR capabilities of our service, Amazon Sumerian. But what's really important is the ecosystem surrounding it. We couldn't done what we did if we wouldn't have all the surrounding services and all that data that powers that virtual reality model. The virtual reality is really the future, and we wanted to showcase the capabilities and options here. The future is really where the shoppers will be able to even shop from home, or when they come to the store and they exactly know where to go and find what they're looking for. AWS has a lot of infrastructure services, but for the first time we have these services that are able to create experiences. This is something that customers cannot find anywhere else. Really, AWS is the platform where this can be built. Not only built, but then it can be fed and powered by all the data that our customers already have in their AWS infrastructure. So this is really an end-to-end solution.
I'm from Singapore.
From Vietnam.
AWS User Group Thailand.
I'm an AWS Community builder.
I run the user group in Singapore as a community hero.
I'm an AWS Community leader.
I love AWS Community.
Go AWS. I'm so proud that all the group members are very proactive to support each other.
I'm really passionate about making artificial intelligence and machine learning more accessible.
I'm also one of the AWS machine learning heroes around the world.
It's a global, positive and diverse community.
ผมเป็น Amazon Web Service Community Hero ประจำประเทศไทยนะครับ
The love of the technology and the friendship in the community.
Go AWS.
Welcome to the 34th episode of the Community Ignite series entitled Reignite, AWS Cloud Foundation.
So with AWS, we have a lot of resources or services that can cater to your business needs. Running your own premise or your own infrastructure is very, very costly. Okay? And when it comes to transitioning to cloud, especially with AWS, you only get to pay with what you use. We get to secure the following or monitor the following that is in the cloud. Okay, so for example, software ng mga different services natin, compute services, software ng storage natin, software ng database natin, software ng networking services natin, AWS will manage that.
We would like to thank not only our speaker but our co-presenters as well. Thank you, AWS and AWS Siklab Pilipinas.
Last year, we launched over 1,400 new features and services, which is an amazing amount considering what we had about 3 years ago when I started. As customers' workloads grow, you need more and more space in memory. AWS has been listening to our customers, and we realize that this growth is required. As time goes by, they will have more data. It was exciting to see how we can work with them to create a very innovative environment on SAP. Things such as in the media and entertainment space. We see customers who, instead of doing everything through a traditional model, they're moving their workloads entirely over to the cloud. So in the end, effectively, they have almost no servers that they have to manage anymore. Take, for example, AWS Elemental Media Live and AWS Elemental Media Package. Both of these can easily be applied in an environment so that instead of using traditional on-premise encoders, you can move your workload into the cloud, re-encode the content, and directly present it to your end user through an online streaming mechanism. Everything can be provisioned on demand when needed, and if there's no event going on, they shut down the resources and there's no running costs. So there's many different ways to be builders in AWS. There's some that are very code-focused. They're able to build fantastic solutions. There's other builders who are just focused on helping customers build out solutions. They focus on the strategy, the concepts. I'm proud to be a builder at AWS because there's always something new to learn.
To be a successful SA, you need to be able to understand really, really big picture concepts.
There's a little bit of like account management, there's a little bit of business development.
You get to see a diverse set of people working on very different things.
The business side along with the technical side.
So if you're interested in a lot of things, solutions architecture is absolutely a place to go.
You've earned an AWS certification. Congratulations! Now what? Show your employer, colleagues, and your customers that you've met the bar set by AWS experts. Add your digital badge to your professional profiles and email signature to highlight your skills. Share it on your social feeds to celebrate with your network. And offer verification via email or on your resume. Cloud skills are in demand, and you have them. Share your AWS certified achievement today.
Hi everyone! Welcome back to Community Ignite series. We hope everyone has been having a great week so far. But hey, it's another Thursday, and tonight would be full of fun and all things AWS. Because tonight is our 37th episode entitled A Day in the Life of an AWS Prototyping Architect. So I have been looking forward to these kinds of episodes because I am such a fan of a day in the life content. Like, we'll get to know what they do, how they handle their tasks, and many, many more. And yeah, I'm sure you guys are as excited as I am. But first, let me introduce myself. I am your host for tonight, Tara David, a technical community manager of Edukasyon.ph and an AWS community builder. So we value your time in spending your Thursday evening to learn with us. So I would love to get to know you guys more. Kaya naman, before we ignite your night, pakilala naman kayo sa ating chat. Yeah, I missed you guys so much. Tagal din natin din nagkita. Kaya naman, I want everyone to chat an emotion of what they're feeling tonight. So are you guys excited? Happy? So chat lang kayo ng chat, guys. So good evening kay Arvin, kay John, kay Paul. And then, yeah, chat lang kayo, guys. And let us also know that you're here by saying where you are from, and if you're a student or a professional, isama nyo na rin dyan ang iyong university or your profession. Ayan, hello then. I think Paolo is very, very happy. Si Maria then ay very happy. Ayan, si Paul is from SJDM Bulacan, and then we have here from si John is from DMMSU-NLUC. Sounds like a very, ang haba ng title ng school. So, di ko alam kung anong school yun. And si Marie naman is from Lipa City Colleges. So, yeah, chat nyo rin, guys, yung emotion na na-feel nyo today. And of course, we are also live on Facebook. Hello po sa ating FB Live viewers over there. Don't forget to tag your friends and share this live, as also help others to learn from our very own industry leaders. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to attend this free 1-hour tech-driven webinar, and it's very nice again to meet you all. So if this is your first time joining us, Community Ignite series brings people to uplift fellow developers and professionals in the Philippines. So with different guest speakers all over the world sharing their expertise in the field, whether you are a student, professional, or a career shifter, this series or this event is the one for you. So join us every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. This event is all for free. It comes with an e-certificate and is co-presented by Amazon Web Services and AWS Club Pilipinas. So hello ulit kay Paolo from Makati. Who else? I was hoping I could get like a greetings then from FB Live. So I hope you guys are really excited for tonight. But yeah, the last episode, let me just tell you guys about the last episode. So the last episode was all about implementing compliance through AWS Config. In case you missed the previous talks, you can watch the highlights on our socials, AWS Club Pilipinas on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and you can also watch the full episode on the Community Ignite series playlist on EdTV YouTube. So just guys, anywhere you go on your smartphone or your devices, nandun po kami, just search AWS Club Pilipinas. Again, hello to our 30 participants here in Zoom and also to our FB Live viewers. Ayan, chat naman kayo guys. So parang wala pa lang chat ng emotion nila. Ayan, si sabi ni Miss Danica ay heart. So heart dance to you, to our technical director, Miss Danica. And yeah, okay, I guess, yeah, all right. I know you guys are excited to keep this talk going. So let us now get to know who our speaker is for tonight. So sino nga ba ang speaker natin for tonight? He works as a prototyping architect for Amazon Web Services in ASEAN. And over the past 15 years, he has led software development projects for enterprises, startups, and government agencies in Australia, New Zealand, US, and the Philippines. So nung nalaman ko kung sino yung speaker natin for tonight, sa sobrang na-excite ako, chinat ko pa si Sir. Sabi ko, Sir, I cannot wait to see you. Ganun. Kasi guys, madami talaga kayo matututunan sa kanya. So yeah, here to take us to his prototyping architect journey is Sir Richard Neil Ilagan. Hello, Sir Richard. Are you there? Ayan.
Hello.
Ayan, let us all give him a warm round of a virtual applause naman kay Sir. Good evening, Sir Richard. How are you naman?
Okay naman. Naka-enough na kape naman ako today, so I think I'm fine.
So, Sir, tanong ko lang, ano yung nakakabit sa iyong parang head?
Ay, ikukwento ko in a while.
Okay. Okay, yun pala yun. Okay, very exciting. Sige, Sir, take it away. Again,
thank
guys,
you at napansin mo na.
Ayan, if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat and we'll answer it later. All right, Sir, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Darla. So, i-share ko lang yung screen ko kasi parati ko nakakalimutan yun. All right. Hindi ko napag-isipan to kasi meron ako suot na headset, napansin nga ni Darla, di ba? Tapos meron din akong headset dito. So hindi sila kasya. Together. So ngayon hinahawakan ko ngayon. Pagbigyan niyo lang ako for a while. Kuwento ko in a bit. So sabi nga ni Darla, ako si Richard Nililagan. Ang tawag sa akin ng karamihan ng tao is Carding. So Carding is okay, Richard is okay, I don't really mind. Isa akong prototyping architect or prototyping engineer sa AWS. Kahit hindi kami masyadong sure exactly ano yung title. Pero prototyping architect is fine. Prototyping engineer is fine. Both bits. So, ang pag-uusapan natin today, and I think I've been with Community Club, I think 3 times na. No? So, we'll take around 45 minutes, more or less. I'll just take you through ano yung ginagawa namin sa AWS, particularly as a prototyping architect. Right? So, ano yung mga pag-uusapan natin today? Really, just very, very quickly. Hindi tayo masyadong mag-detect ngayon. So, a little bit of a break, I suppose. Hindi ko kayo babagsakan ng sandamakmak na tech today. Ang pag-uusapan natin today is just this. So what do I do for work? Ano yung ginagawa ko as a prototyping architect particularly, right? How does that differ from, say, siguro yung mga nakita niyo na rin before na a day in the life of mga solution architects, mga professional services consultants, and so on and so forth. Just a bit of background, ano ang isang prototyping architect sa AWS. Tapos, maybe I'll go through a bit of my own professional career history, ano yung pinagdaanan ko na eventually before getting into where I am right now. And maybe a few tips, a few siguro recommendations about, how to siguro steer your career into somewhere similar or ano man yung iniisip nyo gawin eventually, right? I'll try to leave some time at the end of the presentation for some question Q&A kasi I'm thinking baka may ilan din sa inyo na meron gustong mga tanong at the end of the presentation. I'll leave some of those questions. I'll leave some time at the end for some questions. Pero if you do have questions, put them in the chat. Sila Darla babantayan yun. And just in case hindi na natin maabutan, we'll try our best to get back to you even offline, right? So don't be shy about your questions. Just put them in the chat. Okay? So, prototyping architect. Para sa prototyping architect? A prototyping architect creates prototypes. And so, before I actually go into that, gusto ko lang ikwento sa inyo itong bagong toy that I actually got. So, one of the projects that I'm doing right now is trying to see if we can actually control a drone. Yung mga drone, yung mga lumilipad na remote control, di ba? Can you control a drone using your thoughts? Like using your brain. Pag isipin mo forward, up, down, left, right, ganun. Kaya mo bang gawin yun para ma-remote control ang isang drone? So yung suot kong headset ngayon, it's actually this. So minimeasure niya yung brainwave, yung mga brainwaves ko. And right now, this one measures it in a few different channels there. Diba? Pero hindi importante. If you attended yung talk ko a few months back on the Absolute Beginner's Guide to Machine Learning, ang sabi ko doon is everything is just a pattern. Data is pattern. So if, for example, meron tayong ganitong data na I'm thinking, right? Susubok kong isipin, forward, back, left, right. If I can find a pattern on my brainwaves that tells me, I'm thinking up, I'm thinking down, I'm thinking left, right, and so on and so forth, then I can translate that to remote control directions, di ba? Pwede kong utusan yung drone to fly. So that's actually what this headset is for. It's measuring my brainwaves. I'm trying to use it for a prototype project. Sinusubukan kong alamin if it's possible to remote control a drone using just your thoughts, di ba? Medyo sci-fi eklat. So that's that. That's the backstory of that. Tanggalin ko na nga kasi medyo hindi na komportable. Ayan. Perfect. Okay, so yun yung backstory nun. So that was what the headset was for. Gusto ko lang ikwento. And I'll build on that as I go along. So as a prototyping architect sa AWS, what we do is, simply put, we create prototypes. I'll talk more about prototypes later. Pero prototypes, at least in AWS, is, you can think of it like an experiment. Like parang, pwede bang blank, right? And then it's my job to find out. Is it, is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a maybe? How much of a maybe, right? So parang ganun. Just to give you a bit of context, sa buong AWS, we're kind of categorized within regions, di ba? So sabi nga ni Darla, I'm from the ASEAN region. So sa ASEAN, which is Southeast Asia, di ba? Sa AWS, ASEAN, the prototyping team is this. 5 lang kami sa prototyping team. Very, very small. And a lot of people are are surprised, especially yung mga nakakausap namin, ba, may prototyping sa AWS? What do you do? Ganyan. That sounds like a lot of work. Pero apparently hindi, kasi we're only 5 people. And I'm particularly proud of my team kasi my team is really diverse. We're made up of we're different nationalities, different kinds of personalities, and so on and so forth. I think it's a point of personal pride for myself na knowing na I think sa buong AWS, ako lang yung Filipino na prototyper. Ako lang yung Filipino na prototyping engineer in the world. So that I think that's a personal point of pride for myself. It's very important sa prototyping team to be very diverse. Kasi if you did not know, I'll give you a bit of context, right? So buong mundo, ASEAN is right there. I'm sure you know that, di ba? ASEAN is right there. ASEAN, the Southeast Asia region of the world, is really made up of a few nations. Kasi wala tayo by islands, di ba? The prototyping team is based in Singapore. So I'm here. I'm here in Singapore right now. At hindi ako nagbibiro na yung Singapore is just that dot. Sobrang liit. ng Singapore. As in, tuldok lang siya dyan. So it's very, very surprising when I first found out about it myself. It's very small. Pero yung prototyping team is based on, kasi what the prototyping team does is we take care of all of these countries. So hindi dahil Filipino ako, Philippines lang yung tinutulungan ko, di ba? From time to time, I'll help Thailand, I'll help Vietnam, I'll help Indonesia, and so on and so forth. Pag pumapasok yung mga projects, normally pag ma-assign ka doon, you never know if it's, if it's Singapore, if it's Philippines, if it's Thailand, and so on and so forth. So it's very important na at least sa prototyping team na you're very diverse. Kasi it really helps with understanding the different cultures. It really helps with understanding the different kinds of ways amongst different kinds of nationalities and different kinds of cultures, right? Hindi katulad lang, for example, if you were, say, in the US, right, or Australia, malalaki sila, pero it's just US and Canada. It's just Australia and New Zealand, for example. Dito, we have, 10 countries, iba't ibang cultures, and so on and so forth, right? So it's part of the job to kind of understand and be flexible amongst those. So for example, yung ginagawa ko ngayong project, it's for Malaysia. It's for somewhere in Malaysia. So ganun. So we have to kind of adjust it to that, right? It's very, very, it's a very, very exciting role. It's a very, very exciting job, particularly because there's always something new, right? There's always something new in tech. There's always something new in culture, and so on and so forth. So what exactly specifically do we do? So like I said, we make prototypes, right? Especially for the students among you and the fresh grads, I'm thinking na nag-a-aspire maging developer or maging coder. If you did not know, lahat ng mga IT practitioners, programmers, designers, whatever you are, DevOps, engineer, and so on and so forth, meron niya mga speciality. So if you are a programmer, you can be, an expert or a specialist. Mas pinakamarunong ka with web apps, for example, React, JavaScript, or maybe you're a data scientist, you're a Pythonista, or maybe you're something else entirely, right? You're an infrastructure person, you're a firmware person, you're a machine learning engineer, and so on and so forth. May mga specialization ng pagiging programmer. Para kang doktor. Diba? So maraming mga specializations. One of the things that's special about a prototype engineer is wala kami masyadong ganun. So a prototype engineer is very much expected to be able to understand a lot of tech. You don't have to be experts on a lot of tech, pero you have to be able to understand. You have to be able to work with it. Kasi hindi mo alam if the next project is a web app, a mobile app, an API, a machine learning notebook, or whatever, an IoT device, di ba? Mga ganun. Hindi mo alam na next project mo, gagawa ka lang ng self-driving car. Next project mo, gagawa ka lang ng remote control drone, right? So one of the things we do as a prototyping engineer is we take in a lot of technology. We have to be able to learn, absorb, and understand new technology very, very quickly. So siguro parating yun ang sinasabi, parating yun naririnig na technology moves very, very quickly, diba? So you have to be able to keep up. Even more so with the prototype engineer, kasi we have to be able to keep up with whatever kind of technology comes our way. Kumbaga. Yeah. So I think you already know what a solutions architect does. I think nagkaroon na kayo ng episode on what a solution architect does. I think a prototyping engineer falls somewhere in between what a solutions architect does and what a programmer does, a software development engineer does. So we're kind of somewhere in between. We do a lot of the things that the SAs do as well. Pero aside from that, we also code. We also build. We also, program. We also design and actually build things, right? So, ayun. In the process, we also want to help customers understand technology better. Secondly, and I think this is very, very important, prototype engineers sa AWS, we make it a point to share knowledge. So one of the things that's special about being a prototyping architect is because we actually build, right? We actually code. We're one of the people that actually get to use and study and actually, feel, experience, AWS services, yung mga different technologies, yung mga different kinds of AWS technologies, different offerings, different whatever. Kami yung mga parang people on the ground kasi nagagamit talaga namin eh. So naiisip namin, madali itong gamitin. Medyo mahirap itong gamitin para mga ganon. So naiintindihan namin yan. So in that process, we are also able to share that. Kasi natututunan namin eh. So parang we make it a point to share that. So a lot of us create blog posts. A lot of us create public code bases sa GitHub. Some of us do video broadcasts and live streams. And some of us speak in events and run workshops like now, right? I'm speaking to you kasi I really, really am passionate about sharing my knowledge across. Mga natututunan ko, gusto ko rin ituro pababa. Kasi gusto ko rin kayong maturuan in the same way na tinuruan din ako ng mga nauna sa akin. Right? So we make it a point to do that. For example, we've done we normally do workshops then and lecture sessions for students. So this is one example. I did a lecture for a classroom of students a few years back nung wala pang pandemic, right? I've also done a conference broadcast. So I've also presented topics in AWS Summit. You can see this in YouTube, for example, if you want to search for it. I've also contributed public code bases sa GitHub. So you can also search for this. Kasi we always like to think of it like, ano yung mga natutunan namin? It's always much better if we can always pay it forward, if we can give it across. Right? It's not much help na ikaw lang yung marunong nun. It's much, much better if everybody understands it, if everybody can use it. Right? So we make it a very, very big point to share knowledge as well, especially to our fellow colleagues, especially to our customers, and especially to our peers. Right? So no matter how it is, we try to do that too. Lastly, of course, we have to we learn and have fun. So, like I said, importante sa pagiging prototype engineer na you absorb a lot of knowledge. Natutunan mo. Kung mabigyan ka ng project that you know zero about, that doesn't matter. As a prototyping architect, prototyping engineer, you're expected to be able to absorb that. Like parang i-expect ko okay, wala akong alam sa Postgres, databases. Pero nabigay sa akin project, database, okay lang, wala problema. Pag-aaralan ko. Sige, titingnan ko kung ano matututunan ko. And then I'll go from there. Right? That's very, if you can imagine, that can be very, very stressful. So we also make it a point to make sure that we have downtime. So we have, the stressors or whatever. So we also make it a point na meron kaming mga times na siguro, loose muna sa work. Mga muna, para bench ka muna. Gawa ka muna ng sarili mong side projects if you want. Wag muna yung mga critical, for example, kasi it's very, very stressful. It can be very, very stressful. There's a lot of responsibility, especially with being able to absorb tech and apply that, especially since tumutulong ka to a real customer, and it can be up to you how successful the customer can be, right? So yeah, so definitely we make it a point na we have fun. So as a team, we're very, very small. Like I showed you, most of the time, ang fun lang namin is, okay, lalabas tayo, kakain tayo sa labas. Pero that doesn't have to be that. So for example, we've made it a point na every 2 weeks, yung Friday namin, absolutely zero work. Walang meetings, walang projects. Gamitin mo yung oras na yan to do something you want. Kung gusto mong mag-aral lang something, kung gusto mong lumabas, magpamasahe, kung gusto mong whatever, use the Friday every 2 weeks. Right? Kasi yun yung aming wellness day, for example. Kasi para makaluwag, right? So we make a very, very good point about that. Right? So that's pretty much what a prototyping architect does in a very long gist. Pero what are prototypes in the first place? Di ba? Kasi a lot of different people have different definitions of what a prototype is. Sa AWS at least, we have a very, very specific definition of a prototype. Now, the thing is, and this is something you have to understand as no matter what you do, is ang bilis ng pace of technology, pace of innovation. From one point in time na meron tayong technology, sobrang bilis until umabot tayo sa isang point in time where that's already been improved, where that's already obsolete. Ano na yan, laos na yan, may bago na, etc. Right? And the point is, yung bilis na yan, yung pace na yan, is accelerating. Bumibilis palalo. So kung iisipin mo, ito ngayong paborito kong picture to show that. Like parang nung discover natin yung mga gulong, right? It took almost 4,000 years para magamit natin yung gulong to create a carriage. And then from there, it took 500 years para matuto nating lumipad. And from there, it only took 70 years para makagawa tayo ng space shuttles and go to space. And from there, it only took 21 years para makapakuha tayo ng robot that lands on a different planet and stays there for a very long while. Diba? So ngayon, kung iisipin mo, sobrang dalas na ngayon na parang, oy, may bago akong phone. Right? Next year. Okay, gusto ko na ng bagong phone. Kasi yung bagong model ngayon, meron ng 4 na camera lenses. Or meron ng 6G. Or meron ng 8K. Or whatever. Diba? So sobrang bilis na may bagong technology ngayon. Sobrang bilis. Ngayon, ang problema is, kung masyado mabilis, nagbabago yung technology, ang hirap-hirap na nga matuto ng bagong technology, tapos ang bilis pang malaos. Yung natutunan ko ngayon, baka hindi na importante 2 weeks from now, 1 month from now, 2 months from now. Diba? So, yung prototyping program sa AWS, isa sa mga I think, tenets niya, goals niya, is to help customers, other people, understand and use technology. Kumbaga, dahil sobrang hirap na nga, sobrang hirap to keep up with technology, we will help you understand all of that by building things for you. So kumbaga, hindi mo na, may customer kami, hindi mo na iintindihan kung paano gamitin na machine learning for whatever use case you want, we'll help you out. We'll create a prototype. Gagamit kami ng machine learning. We'll figure out a solution for your problem, and then we'll teach you how to do it. Parang ganon. We'll show you what we've done. We'll show you what we've built from ground up. So para sa punto de vista ng customer, alam na nila kung paano gamitin. Siguro bumilis yung kanilang engineering kasi eventually marunong na sila. Na-kickstart na sila, na-jump start na sila with using that kind of technology. So that's what we do. That's a very big part of what we do in AWS prototyping. We help customers understand technology by building things from them. Pero unlike most other solutions architects, we actually build, we actually show. So hindi lang namin sinasabi na kailangan containers. Kailangan EC2 na Graviton, mga ganyan. Dapat load balancer sa isang network, ganyan. Hindi. Pinapakita talaga namin. At pinapatunayan namin na yun yung tama o mali. Right? So parang hindi namin sinasabi lang na dapat ganito yung gawin niyo. Ginagawa din namin talaga para mapatunayan. Kasi it's like an experiment. May problem ka, meron kaming hypothesis na okay, ito yung dapat gawin, patunayan natin kung tama o mali. Right? So that's what we do with the prototype. Ang isang prototype at least in our head is really a business problem. So kumbaga, you probably heard of the term proof of concept before. Sa mata namin, ang proof of concept is really just a short demonstration of something. Like, pwede ba natin gamitin ng containers to do this? Or pwede ba tayong gumamit ng isang lambda function to do this? Mga ganun. Proof of concept lang yan . Kumbaga, para pinapatunayan mo lang na pwede mong gamitin yung technology on one thing. Ang prototype is much, much bigger. There's actually a big, dinadala na natin to the point of business, to the level of business. meron ng hindi na siya question of technology. It's a question of how do you solve a big problem. Like kunwari, if you were building, kunwari, nung wala pang Uber, wala pang Grab, and so on and so forth, posible ba na gumawa tayo ng isang ride-sharing service? Parang ganun. Posible ba na magpatakbo ako ng drone using my head? Posible ba? And so on and so forth. Right? Yung prototypes generally answer something very abstract. Like, hindi natin alam kung pwede ba o hindi. And that's the job. That's what we do. Like parang, oh sige, given a problem, aalamin namin ang sagot. Hahanapan ka namin ng sagot. Pwede ba? Hindi. Kung pwede, paano? Kung hindi, anong pwede natin gawin? And so on and so forth. Right? So, you can kind of think of it like an experiment. Kasi alam mo, yung mga scientists, di ba? Parang meron silang problem, may hypothesis sila, papatunayan nila. Is it true or false? Same thing. Meron kaming parang problem, meron kaming idea na parang, dapat ganito gawin natin. Papatunayan namin. At syempre, minsan, mali din kami. Kasi, that's the point eh. You want to find you want to find the right answer. And in the quest for finding the right answer, you're bound to find a lot of wrong ones. Right? So for example, ito yung sabi ko sa iyo, di ba, may ginagawa akong prototype ng pag-control ng drone. Ito yung initial naming parang pag-remote control doon sa drone. Wala pa yung headset. Sinusubukan lang namin i-remote control yung drone. Ngayon. So, meron kaming ginawang initial na remote control. Apparently, meron kaming hindi nakita, hindi pala gumagana. So, hindi namin nakokontrol yung drone. Oras na lumipad na siya. Mga ganong mga bagay. So, paulit-ulit yan. Paulit-ulit na paulit-ulit na nangyayari yan. So, in the quest to solve a problem, maraming mga wrong answers. At every time makita kang wrong answer, you have to adjust. O sige, ano yung mali? Ano yung pwede natin ayusin? And so on and so forth. We have to fix that. Ganun. And that is really what we also want to teach as a prototyping architect. Na parang okay lang na magkamali. Okay lang na hindi gumana yung susubukan mong gawin. Ang importante ay you are able to adjust very, very fast. Kung alam mo ng mali, kasi galaw tayo, adjust tayo. Anong natutunan natin doon? Adjust natin sa susunod. Right? And that happened ulit-ulit until we get to an acceptable answer. Na parang, this is the best way to do this. Okay. Or at least the best way so far to do this. Right? Tapos ituturo namin. Na parang, sige, ganito yan. Right? So that's what we do. And that's the kind of philosophy we do with prototypes and prototyping, particularly. So, in doing my work, anong itsura ng day ko? It's not very exciting actually. So, just so you know, whenever we get a prototype, we call it a prototype engagement. Diba? A prototyping engagement is a project. Normally, yung project na yun lasts 4 to 6 weeks. We don't do it longer. Kasi like I said, we want to solve a very specific problem lang. Hindi natin gustong i-solve yung mundo. Gusto natin i-solve maliit na problem lang. And then we move from there. Right? Palabas na tayo ng palabas. So we make it a point na yung mga sinusolve namin is very, very focused lang. So that's why we keep it at 4 to 6 weeks. So every time ng project, 4 to 6 weeks. That comes with, kasama na doon, yung pag-aaral ng mga technology, etc. So itong ginagawa kong ng ulo para mag-ano ng drone, kailangan tapos siya in 6 weeks. For example, kailangan may sagot ako in 6 weeks. For example. So normally, every one of us, kung yung prototyping team, di ba 5 kami? We only work with one customer at a time. At kada project, only one architect at a time. So ibig sabihin, hindi siya katulad siguro ng mga nakasanayan ng software dev teams na meron kayong isang buong team na mga tao na nagtutulong-tulong in building an application. Diba? Kadalasan sa prototyping, as a prototyping architect, nag-iisa lang kami. Napapasok dun sa office ng customer o sasama sa team ng customer. Tapos tutulungan namin sila or may gagawin kami para sa kanila. As oras na matapos na namin yon, ibibigay na namin sa kanila lahat ng ginawa namin para sila na magtutuloy. So, ganun yung ginagawa namin sa generally with the prototyping project. So, ang nangyayari kadalasan sa araw ko, at ito na yung literal na day in the life of an AWS Prototyping Architect. Gumigising ako ng 7:30 a.m., hindi 11 a.m. Siyempre, kape-kape muna. Tinitingnan ko ano yung nagbago sa AWS. Kasi parate, walang paltos, promise. Pag natulog ako sa gabi, kinabukasan, pagising ko, may bagong service na naman, may bagong feature, may bagong change na naman sa AWS. So I check ano ang bago. Para, alam mo yun, aware ako. Hindi ko naman kailangan gamitin, pero aware ako na merong bago. Tapos normally, 1 oras para mag-answer lang ng emails, mag-answer ng messages, mga naghihintay ng sagot, for example, ganun. Tapos I really make it a point na the rest of the day is focused or in the zone ako doon sa project. Kung ano man yung kailangan kong gawin. Para sa inyo na mga nakapagtrabaho na or nagpo-program na, nagde-dev na in companies, alam nyo gaano ka-importante ang in the zone para sa isang programmer. Ang sinasabi nga namin parati dati na na ang pinakamasamang pwede mong gawin para sa isang programmer is gambalain. I-interrupt mo. Pag andyan sa upuan niya gumaganyan, nag-ano in the zone, ang pinakamasama mong pwedeng gawin sa kanya is istorbohin siya. Kasi nawawala lahat ng iniisip niya. So I make it a point na I work in the zone to focus uninterrupted for the rest of the day. Kadalasan hindi nangyayari, pero I try my best, right? Tapos normally tumitigil ako mga 5 or 6. Pag sinisipag, which is never, I go to the gym. Susubukan ko magbuhat. I like medyo distressor ko sa sarili ko magbuhat. Tapos, bahala na. Siguro gagawa ko ng chores, maglalaro ng Dota, lalabas ako with friends. Tapos, natatapos yung araw ko normally by nagbabasa ako ng manga or nag-reading material. Like, siguro may pinag-aaralan akong bago. Tapos, binabasa ko lang. Until antukin na ako. Tapos, ganun na. Next na. I don't think importante masyado yung daily. I think para sa akin, mas importante sa akin yung weekly. Like, how do you structure your week? Hindi siya kasi importante sa akin as the day. Sa akin, ang ginagawa ko with my week is Mondays, generally, yun yung mga admin tasks. Lahat ng siguro mga administrative meetings or tasks or mga kailangan ko kausapin na hindi naman related sa project ko. Normally, sinusubukan ko silang i-schedule sa Monday. Again, para Tuesday to Thursday, uninterrupted, nakafocus ako doon sa project. Kasi very, very important talaga para sa akin na hindi ako nai-istorbo Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Ganun. So, yun ang susubukan kong gawin. Friday, medyo flexible naman. So, kung ano may kailangan kong gawin na parang napag-iwanan ko na, kailangan ko habulin or kung ano man, gagawin ko sa Friday. Para sa inyo na alam ko ano yung sprint na ang personal preference ko para sa sprint ay ginagawa yung seremonya sa afternoons. Like kumari mga stand-up, mga retro, mga playback, mga ganyan. Normally ginagawa sa afternoon, sa hapon. Yun ang aking preference. Largely dahil hindi ako morning person at all. Tapos ang preference ko rin is 1 week sprints. Kasi ang time nga namin is 4 to 6 weeks lang. So we have to be able to adjust very, very quickly. So instead of the normal 2-week sprints, normally I prefer na 1 week. Every Friday, meron tayong demo or meron tayong playback, meron tayong retro. Pag-usapan natin anong kailangan natin gawin. Mga ganyan. So that's how I structure my work. Right? Okay. So mga examples of prototypes we've done. Right? So just to give it a bit more, I guess, clarity. Ano yung mga prototypes that we actually do? Ano yung mga projects that we actually do? I don't think I've shown this sa Community Club. Pero one of the prototypes, for example, is meron ako customer dati na buy and sell ng sasakyan. So meron ako prototype dati. Ang sinosolve niyang problem is, posible ba na pipicturean mo lang yung kotse, like pipicturean mo on all sides, tapos makakompute ka na kung magkano yung kotse. Kasi buy and sell eh. So gusto nilang mabilisan, alam nila magkano ko ito mabibenta para alam ko kung magkano ko bibilhin. Kasi kailangan kumita ako eh. Di ba? Buy and sell eh. So ganun, para mabilis. Pipicturean ko lang yung kotse, makakuha na ako ng presyo. Posible ba yun? So isang prototype ko yun dati. Meron din ako dating prototype na, yun. Kung nakapunta ka na sa kung nakapunta ka na sa hotel, alam mo na may mga thermostat sa loob ng hotel. Yung mga pang-control ng thermometers. Doon sa mga medyo magagarbong hotel, yung mga thermometers nila, yung mga thermostat nila, medyo smart. Medyo kakaiba. Mga katulad ng ganito. Marami silang ginagawa maliban sa pag-control ng temperature. Ngayon, sa loob nitong mga to, meron isang ganito. So, meron kang parang microchip sa loob. Ito ay isang ESP32. Ganon. Ngayon, ang problema is, every time nag-i-install ng ganito, sa isang bagong hotel, sa isang bagong room, meron kailangan pumunta na tao from the company, from a different country, lilipad siya, para lang ma-install, para lang ma-activate yung thermostat. Kasi smart siya eh. Kailangan siyang i-activate, kailangan siya may configuration, di ba? So, ang prototype namin is, posible ba na magawa mo yon remotely? Right? So, hindi ka na magpapalipad ng tao. Parang ituturo mo na lang sa hotel manager, for example, ano kailangan niyang gawin. Tapos, nagawa namin na meron kang thermostat, meron kang app sa phone mo, itututok mo lang, Bluetooth, tapos, boom, ma-initialize niya yan, mako-configure niya yan sa loob using Bluetooth. Very exciting. One of the more exciting prototypes I've done. So dahil doon, hindi na, yung kumpanya na gumagawa ng thermostat, hindi na kailangan magpadala ng mga tao. Di ba? Tipid sila. Pangatlo, meron akong customer sa Pilipinas na gumagawa ng nagpapatakbo sila ng mga supermarket, mga grocery. Ang problema nila is, pag nalalaman na nila na wala nang laman yung shelf, kumari, ubos na yung beer. Just sa picture na yun, ubos na yung beer sa shelf. Masyadong late na bago nila malaman na ubos na. Kasi pag, kumari, isipin mo, kung ikaw yung shopper, kumuha ka ng beer, ikaw yung umubos. Di ba? Malalaman lang yun ng supermarket pag nilabas mo na sa checkout. Kasi doon na nila makikita na, binayaran mo na, nilabas mo na, di ba? So masyadong matagal yon kasi minsan 1 hour, 2 hours ka pang umikot sa loob eh. So meron bang paraan para malaman natin right away na ubos na yung shelf, ubos na yung stock shelf. So meron kaming ginawang parang prototype using a camera, nakatutok lang dyan, tapos makikita ng camera ano-ano yung mga bakanting lugar sa shelf. Tapos maliban dyan, nakikita niya na, itong parte ng shelf dito sa gitna, meron siyang laman, pero hindi yan dapat yun nandyan. Kasi hindi yan yung dapat na nakalagay dyan. Kaya pula pa rin siya dito sa nakikita mo yan. So, nare-report yan agad dun sa So, nalalaman nila agad. Kailangan natin mag-restock. Ganon, right? Meron din akong customer dati. Posible ba na given meron tayong weather forecast na, di ba? Sa balita, pag-asa, ganyan. Pag alam mo yung weather forecast, kaya ba natin hulaan ano-anong mga site natin ang magda-down? Like parang ano-anong mga sites yung may malaking chance na magda-down. Dahil kung alam na natin yon before mangyari, edi nakapaghanda na tayo ng ano man yung kailangan natin ihanda, idalhin doon para mas mabilis yung downtime or baka hindi mangyari yung downtime at all kasi nakapag-prepare ka na eh. Right? Lastly, meron din akong prototype na nag-schedule ng mga iba't ibang bus. Sino yung bus? Ano yung ruta niya? Sino yung driver na kailangan ng bus? Anong oras? Para ma-maximize mo yung fleet at ma-minimize mo yung cost. Right? It's not very I think that was not so much AI, more or like heuristics, formula, and so on and so forth. So meron kaming sinubukan ganon. Tinulungan kami customer na nag-ano ng mga transport buses. So, tinulungan namin sila with a prototype to help them schedule their assets. Ganyan. So, ayan, mga very quick examples of prototypes we've done. We've done quite a few. Tapos I think those were the more exciting ones, I feel. So, paano ako naging prototyping architect in the first place? Before I was a prototyping architect, solutions architect din ako with AWS. So pumasok ako sa AWS as a solutions architect. So if you've seen yung talk ata ni Paul Sears a few months back, I think. So same thing. I was a solutions architect before. So I've done very similar things. So ginagawa ko rin dati yung mga ginagawa ng solutions architect. Like I said, ang isang prototyping architect is a lot like an FA. Pero we also code, we also build. Di ba? So ang pinaka-career history ko talaga is like this. So I started out as an OR analyst for KFC. At nahihirapan ako every time na ikwento yan kasi hindi sila naniniwala. Talaga, nagsimula ka sa KFC? Oo, KFC. OR analyst ako dati. So it's a managerial position. Parang ganon. It's a managerial position. Kasi I suppose not a lot of people know this, pero hindi ako ComSci graduate. Hindi ako graduate with a computer degree. Graduate ako with a management degree or a managerial degree. So ang thing is, noong 2007, naisip ko talaga na hindi yun ang gusto kong gawin. Gusto ko talagang nagpo-program. Gusto ko talagang IT. So pinilit ko talagang mag-change ng career that early. Like 2007, sinuwerte ako, nakakuha ako ng isang posisyon sa Fujitsu Tem as a systems engineer. So gumagawa kami ng parang mga tools, firmware tools para sa mga kotse at the time. Kasi it just went from there. So pumunta ako sa Hewlett-Packard eventually. Doon ako pinakamatagal so far. At some point, umalis ako sa HP para sumali sa isang startup. Kasi iniisip ko dati na parang parati na lang ako nasa enterprise. Gusto kong maranasan anong ginagawa ng isang startup. Paano tumatakbo ang isang startup. So lumipat ako sa isang startup for a while sa Mashup Garage. Tapos niyaya ako ng Hewlett-Packard bumalik at umuo naman ako. So bumalik ako sa HP for a year. Tapos eventually went to AWS as a solutions architect, and then here I am, prototyping architect. I think every one of those roles, I think I've learned something very, very important especially with IT, especially with tech, especially with just pursuing a career, diba? So, and I think with everybody in the call then, that's very, very important na no matter anong ginagawa mo, no matter ano yan, no matter ano yung role, no matter which company, do your best to be able to learn something very significant from the experience. Kasi that will always help kung ano man yun. I don't know, going forward, whatever it is. So I can say that that's very, very true. Some of the things na I do that I think that also help with doing what I do is, and I think this is the most important, I made a very concerted point to be active in tech communities. So if you're not active, if you're not participating in a local tech community, naglagay ako ng ilan sa baba na I think are really good. So take your pick. Those are some of the communities that I've worked with before, and I know that they really strive for quality. They really take care of their members. So go, feel free to see what you can do. If you can join them, if you like what they do, I really think it helps na you're active in tech communities. If only because you get to know other people and you learn from them as well. Kasi hindi maganda nang natututunan mo lang kung nasan ka. Maganda na makikita mo rin nangyayari sa labas. Like what do other people do with a technology? If you're a React dev, what do other people do with React? Right? What do other people do with JavaScript? And so on and so forth, right? It's nice. It's very, very helpful. It's also very important na you learn things all the time. Hindi naman kailangan kasing intense na ginagawa namin, di ba? Just make sure you're continuously growing. You're, continuously seeing something new and maybe trying out something new. A new tech, a new process, a new framework, or whatever, a new programming language, doesn't matter, right? Just keep from being stagnant. And then lastly, speak. So it's very important that you know how to speak. It's very important na hindi ka takot makipag-usap, whether to your colleagues, to a customer, on a stage, in front of an audience. It's very, very important. Kasi you can be the best programmer, you can be the best developer, the best engineer, pero it's all seemingly useless kasi hindi mo ma-express bakit maganda yung ginawa mo. Bakit importante yung ginawa mo? Bakit may value ito sa'yo? Right? It's very, very important that you can express that. You can say that. You can, share that. So I really think it's very important if you practice how to speak, if you force yourself in a situation na magsasalita ka, right? I think it's very, very helpful. If anything else, go for that, I think. So if you're interested in becoming a prototyping architect, I think ito yung mga importante, right? Definitely solid fundamentals in coding. And I say fundamentals kasi as a prototyping architect, kung may ini-interview ako ngayon na gusto maging prototyping architect, hindi importante sa akin na sobrang galing ng JavaScript mo. Ang importante sa akin is, oo, marunong ka mag-JavaScript, pero pag kailangan mong mag-Python, kaya ba ba? Kaya ba bang matuto? Gano'ng kabilis? Pag kailangan mong mag-Ruby, kailangan mong mag-Elixir, mag-C#, mag-Rust, mag-Go. Pag sinabihan kita gumamit ng ibang framework, di ba? Kasi it doesn't matter na hindi mo alam. Okay lang na hindi mo alam. Pero if you have solid fundamentals in what you do, like for example, you understand a language, ano man yan, very, very intimately, it's very easy to pick up another. Kung marunong ka with C#, for example, you can apply what you know with C# and read Python and read Ruby and maybe even work with that very, very quickly. Right? So I look for fundamentals. Kailangan solid yung fundamentals mo. It's not important na expert ka, sobrang galing ka. Gusto ko na fundamentally you're solid. Right? Dapat very quick to adjust and adapt ka. Kasi like I said, you'll be wrong a lot of times. And when you are, you have to, again, adjust. Diba? Paano? Gano'ng kabilis? And so on and so forth. What do you do next? Where do you go to? And so on and so forth. You're self-sufficient most of the time. Kasi nga, nag-iisa ka lang kadalasan sa project. So one of the things I normally see is merong mga beginner devs na makakita lang ng error sa IDE nila, sa editor nila, error, ay, anong problema? Paano ko ito isosolve? Anong kailangan kong gawin? Di ba? Kailangan self-sufficient ka. Kailangan alam mo paano mo hahanapin what you have to do. Kasi hindi parati na meron kang matatanungan. Kailangan alam mo kung may nangyaring masama, may nangyaring mali, you know what to do. Or even if you don't know what to do, you know how to find how to do. Ano ang kailangan mong gawin. Right? So mga ganun mga bagay. And definitely, you have to be able to learn very, very, very quickly. Ano pa? Right? So those yung mga parang hard skills, mga tech skills. Ano pa yung mga importante, I think? Like I said, communication. You have to be able to speak. Kailangan kaya mong express yung sarili mo. Kasi you'll always be talking with other people. You'll always be talking with groups and with customers, with peers, colleagues, community members. Kailangan nakakapag-express ka. Kailangan nakakapag-usap ka. You also have to have confidence in yourself. Parate. Right? Even if you're going into a meeting or an event that you feel you don't really know enough, for example, you have to be confident in what you do, in what you know. Kasi for one, it's okay na hindi mo alam. It's okay na mali ka. It's okay na hindi mo alam lahat. Pero yung alam mo, you have to be confident in what you can do. You have to be confident enough to speak. You have to be confident enough to know when you're right, when you're wrong, and so on and so forth. Right? You have, kailangan hindi ka afraid to lead kasi you'll always be the spearhead of something. You'll always be leading something. You'll always be guiding customers. Ito yung dapat yung gawin. Kasi, ganito. Kasi, makakatulong to at hindi ganito. So, you always have to be guiding. You always have to be leading. And there always has to be a very, very healthy balance between humility and grounding. Right? like I said, confident ka na tama ka, pero you should also know when you're wrong and when you're, when there's a room for you to improve, there's room for you to grow, and so on and so forth. Kasi we never stop growing, right? Just a few more minutes. Tapos I just want to show you ano yung mga bagay na I think are good investments in learning, right? In tech. If ever hindi prototyping architect, if ever you don't want to do the prototyping architect thing and learn everything, right? Ano yung mga I think very, very important pieces in tech? And I say that kasi lahat naman importante, di ba? Pero if I were to guide, these would be my personal big bets. So if you're currently lost and you're looking for like a field of technology that you want to know more about, maybe you want to specialize in eventually, or maybe you just want to explore, these are my personal bets. Containers, DNA, IoT, machine learning. Sila yung parang parati ko nakikita, sila yung nakikita ko most everywhere, sila yung nakikita ko na may potential with a lot of different things. So if you want to start somewhere and you just want to look for something that you might want to specialize in, ito yung mga isa-suggest ko. Right? Pero at the end of it all, ang pinaka-importante pa rin is gagawin mo yung technology na passionate ka about. Right? Hindi kailangan containers, hindi kailangan IoT, ML, DNA, whatever you're passionate about. If ang passion mo is game development using Unity, bakit hindi? Di ba? Kasi yun naman yung like, hindi ka tatagal doing something na hindi mo gusto. That's the thing. So, madaming klase ng technology that you can dabble in. As in, sobrang dami. We have 200 AWS services at hindi pa yung lahat ng technologies. Di ba? Sobrang dami. So, ang suggestion ko is just explore. Try to see what you can do. Again, if you need ideas where to start dito, pero like I said, it doesn't have to be that. Kung nakita mo na hindi yan ang trip mo, hindi yan ang gusto mo, then okay lang, walang problema. Hanap tayo ng bago. Maybe ang gusto mo, mobile development, web app development lang. Ganun lang kasimple, pero very, very specialized. Why not? Diba? Databases, baka gusto mo, ganun. Eh di why not? Diba? Meron bang nakakaalam kung ano itong mga pictures sa tabi? Sa chat? So ito yung example to of something I'm passionate about. So right now, what I'm trying to understand, kasi hindi ko talaga maintindihan, what I'm trying to understand is AI-generated art. So itong dalawang pictures na to were drawn by a computer, drawn by an AI. Kaninang umaga lang. So pinadrawing ko sila na parang, drawing mo nga ako ng lighthouse drawing mo ako ng isang soccer match sa North Pole. Kasi ito yung binigay niya sa akin. Right? So ang ginagawa ko ngayon is I want to study more about how that works. Like parang what happens when you ask a computer to draw something at paano niya nagagawa na parang ay oo nga may lighthouse to ay oo nga mukha nasa North Pole sila. Paano niya lang alam yun? Diba? So that's what I'm doing right now. Pero like I said, at the end of the day, find something that you're passionate about that you can stick with and be great at eventually. Doesn't have to be now, doesn't have to be in 10 years, pero eventually, right? Yung matatagalan mo. Right? So I leave you with that. If you want to look for tutorials or workshops on other aspects of technology, we always have this link. Is AWS Skill Builder. It's free. There's a lot of courses and classes there and topics. Just go there and see if you can find something that if you want to start learning about something, go sa AWS Skill Builder and see what you can find from there. Okay? And if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach me on that email right there. That's my work email. Send me an email. I'll be happy to hear from you and I'll be happy to respond. Okay? Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Thank you so much for sharing your in-depth experience as a prototyping architect and even letting us know which fields you believe that will boom in the tech industry. Grabe pala, sir. As in, very inspiring talaga. Parang gusto ko na rin maging prototyping architect kasi ang isang prototyping architect hindi nabitaw at laging naghahanap ng solution. So, very exciting and I'm sure our participants want to follow in your footsteps and hopefully be the next prototyping architects for AWS. So, Sir Carding, let us now move on to the question and answer portion. Ako, sir, sobrang dami kong tanong.
Ay, nako.
But yeah, well, yes, hugot po yun, Sir Paul. Sorry, napahugot ako doon. Kasi totoo naman, di ba, sir, na hindi talaga nabitaw ang isang prototyping architect. Pero, sir,
hindi ka iiwanan.
yes, hindi ka iiwan, di ba? Maghahanap pa ng solusyon, won't give you up, ganun. So, sige, sir, start na tayo sa ating first question from Sir Arvin, no? So, like, besides having, like, kailangan ng solid fundamentals solid, like, foundation sa coding, ano po ba ang iyong current tech stack? Like, what programming languages do you usually use or commonly use when working on a prototype?
Kadalas ang ang ginagawa namin with the prototyping project is we use whatever technology the customer is already familiar with. So kung ang team nila is mas Python, it doesn't matter na hindi ako marunong ng Python, I will create your prototype in Python. Right? So ganon.
Tutunan nyo, sir. Dapat willing ka.
Pero kung ako lang ang masusunod, like kumare sa mga sarili ko side project, I'm a JavaScript TypeScript guy. Mas web dev talaga ako. So mas React ako, and so on and so forth. Ang pinaka-specialization ko talaga is web development and containers. So doon talaga ako umiikot.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Richard. And may nag-hello sa akin. Hello, Dan. Ito, sir, another question. And I'm related ako sa question na to. Sabi ni Sir Bricks in the chat, what can we do to join your team?
Madali lang yan. Meron kaming dedicated site for open positions sa Amazon, AWS included. I think I'll try to find the link right now, pero I think it's jobs@amazon.com or amazon.com/jobs. So makikita nyo doon lahat ng open positions in AWS and Amazon. So that can be for prototyping or SA or SDEs. Kung meron kayong matipuan doon, apply lang, why not?
Ako, sir, very exciting, no? Sana, sir, someday talaga. Siguro, sir, intayin nyo naman ako. Wag ka muna mag-resign ng 10 years. Intayin nyo ako maging isang prototyping architect din. Okay, parang agree ako sa sinabi ni Sir Arvin. Ang galing ni Sir Richard. Your work is like making a thesis on hard mode. Napaisip din ako na parang ganun nga din ang thesis, no? Mag-research ka, gano'n and everything. Ayan, speaking...
Well, ang fun story doon is never ako gumawa ng thesis.
What?
Hindi ko kailangan gumawa ng thesis eh.
No? Like, hindi related. Wow.
Iba yung namin eh. Iba yung ginawa namin, hindi kami thesis eh. So, ito na yung thesis ko, I guess. Yeah.
So, sir, like, speaking of thesis, no, among the projects you like showed earlier, what was your most favorite one? And then maybe you can also mention the hardest one you had.
Actually, yung sa thermostat, I really like that. Largely because nung nakuha ko yung project na yun, never pa akong nag-firmware, never pa akong nag-program ng ganyan. Like parang paano ba yan, di ba? Tapos ngayon, marunong na ako enough doon na gumawa na ako sarili kong keyboard, for example. So,
sir! Oh my gosh!
Ang dami mo natututunan sa mga ganyan. So, yun. I think yun ang pinaka-paborito ko kasi ang dami ko talaga natutunan doon. It was a very real challenge. Kumbaga, isa yun sa mga pinakauna kong prototypes at isa yun sa mga pinakauna na parang, wow! Ganito para trabaho dito, no? So, parang, ayun. So, I really like that. As for the hardest, really hard to pick kasi lahat sila mahirap kung tutusin. I really don't like yung mga projects na na data.
Oh no.
Yung mga parang nag-format ng data, nagpapadala ng data lang everywhere, mga database driven ni ganun. Ang parati ko nga biro is ako na siguro lumalayo talaga ako sa mga database as much as I can kasi ayoko talaga siya. Hindi ko talaga siya trip. So mga ganyan.
Ayan, thank you, Sir Richard. We have another one from the chat. Given the varied number of services na pwede gamitin to make a prototype, how do you deal with analysis paralysis when planning a POC? Say Lambda versus EC2 versus other stuff. Actually, good question din yan.
Very, very good question. So dyan pumapasok yung yung sinasabi ko ng solid fundamentals. Kasi marami kang options nga. Pero you have to have a very good understanding of ano yung pros and cons ng bawat isa. Pwede ko bang gamitan ng Lambda to? Pwede ko bang gamitan ng containers? At kung parehong oo, bakit ako pipili ng Lambda? Bakit ako pipili ng containers, for example? So, very simple example. Kung ina-expect ko, gusto ko serverless. Di ba? Gusto ko serverless. Pwedeng Lambda, pwedeng Fargate, ano pa, marami pang iba. Pwedeng App Runner, mga ganun-ganun, di ba? Pero hindi ko pipiliin ng Lambda kung malamang hindi ko pipiliin ng Lambda kung ina-expect ko na tatakbo siya tuloy-tuloy. Like 24/7, for example. Kasi alam ko na ang Lambda, only lasts maximum 15 minutes. Ganyan. So sa containers, maganda yon kasi pwede mong tuloy-tuloy ng containers di ba? Tapos pwede ka mag-scale, so on and so forth. So mga ganun mga bagay. If you understand, if you have a good fundamentals on different kinds of technologies, it doesn't even have to be about AWS services. Like containers in general, ano ang characteristics ng containers? Virtual machines in general, anong characteristics nila? So you get to pick. Pero like I said, you can always adjust as you move along. Parati namang mali yung architecture namin or design na simula madalas. And then we just change it up.
Okay, meron po siyang follow-up question. How do you catch yourself from a familiarity bias? Was familiar with Lambda pero may mulabas na newer service that sounds like a good or better fit for the POC?
Also a very good question. So one of the ways I try to avoid yung ganong klaseng bias is for personal conviction ko lang. Ang ginagawa ko sa bawat project ko, kung may bagong project na naman, what I do is I make it a point to use something new. Like isang new framework. Like kunwari, sabihin natin this new project, kailangan ko kumuha ng web app. Sabi ko nga, di ba, React developer ako, di ba? Ibig sabihin, very, very easy. TypeScript, React, easy. Pwede ko sabihin na, okay, hindi ako gagamit ng React. Gagamit ako something else, something new. Svelte, Solid, Vue, something else. Para lang masubukan ko. And then, I have a better opinion about it moving forward. Like next project ko, alam ko na, ano pinagkaiba ng React? Svelte. What do I use in a future project? Right? So that's one of the ways I try to make up for bias, just to keep myself,
Thank you so much, Sir Richard. I have two last questions talaga, sir, kasi 7 o'clock na, no? Two last questions na napaka-curious lang ako. Paano pag hindi feasible or possible talaga? Like, ano sinasabi niyo sa client? And then, follow-up question then, how do you overcome like failure or stress? Like, what do you do when you get stuck in a problem?
Okay. May mga prototypes na rin kami dati na parang hindi talaga gumana. Like, no matter what we did. Or at the very least, hindi naman siya complete failure. Like, a fundamental part is not, succeeding. Sabihin natin ng ganun. No matter what happens kasi, even if it fails, even if it succeeds, you learn something new. Right? So, ibig sabihin kasi, you're solving a business problem for the customer. Siguro may gusto silang gawin na bagong business or bagong service or whatever. And what you just did is you tried creating a prototype with a specific design kasi gusto mo makita kung gagana yon. And now na nag-fail siya, you know na hindi. Diba? So now you can take that to the customer and say na, I'm sorry, pero hindi siya gumana as we expected. Pero we now know na this approach is not gonna work. So this will save you a lot of time. This will save you a lot of effort kasi you don't have to do that anymore. We can try something else. Diba? So that's also a success in its own. Diba? Tapos, when you're in a rut, like sabihin natin na parang writer's block, from time to time, may mga araw talaga nagigising ako na parang ayoko mag-code. Ganyan.
Joke lang.
What?
Joke lang.
Pero, hindi, okay lang, half meant. May mga may mga araw talaga ng ganun, hindi mo maiiwasan, I think. So, it really depends on maybe what you just have to do is walk away para try to do something else, or even as simple as lumabas ka muna manood ka muna ng something sa Netflix or ano man, parang ganun, parang pahinga ka lang, or siguro take a day off, Parang ganyan. Most of the time, what I do is I try to um, not think about it too much. Oh, tama si Jezreel. Rest muna. Pahinga ka lang. Kasi if you're stuck somewhere, I think of it as a symptom of something else. So parang sabihin natin na baka overwork na yan. Hindi, pahinga ka lang muna. Try to do something else that makes you happy, di ba?
Ayan, thank you so much. Ito talaga, sir. Last question na to. Since na-promote mo na kanina yung mga social media mo, like, do you have any upcoming events naman that you would like to promote or give a shout out to?
Okay, well, malapit ang aking birthday party. So, hindi joke. Hindi joke lang. Tapos na birthday ka. Malapit na ang AWS Summit ASEAN for this year. So it's as far as I know, it's going to be a free event. Normally the ASEAN Summit is held over 2 or 3 days, and it's going to be at least online. At least, I don't know if you can do face-to-face now. Pero watch out for that, kasi that's a very, very good event that we do in AWS for everyone to teach and share announcements, share samples and news and services and so on and so forth. How to do this, how to do that.
All right.
The ASEAN Summit, I think it's in May. Maybe.
Okay, May. Sige, noted on that. And I'm sure mapopromote din naman namin to sa AWS. And again, thank you po. And we hope to see you in our next episodes and hopefully in your workspace. Magulat ka na lang, sir, nandun na ako. Hi, Sir Richard! Ako po yung bago.
Oh, why not? I'd welcome you by stuff. Sige.
Ayun po, sir. Thank you po, sir, so much. And you may now turn your camera. Bye-bye na tayo kay sir. Pwede lahat tayo mag-chat kay Sir Richard. Thank you, Sir Richard, on the chat. I want everyone to chat to say
thank you, Sir Richard.
Thank you, Sir Richard, and happy belated birthday. Ganun.
Oh, thank you.
And you may turn your camera off na po. And of course, thank you. And of course, guys, hindi lang Community Ignite series ang handa namin for you. We have a lot of upcoming events that will fit your interests and skills. So ano ba yung mga upcoming events natin? Ito na, guys. In partnership with Recruit Day, we'll be having an event tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. with our AWS community hero, Sir Rafi Kasambing. So he will share with you how to start your career in data science and the tools to successfully build and deploy data science projects on Amazon Web Services. So you may register in this link for the Recruit Day. Ayan na pala na-send ng ating technical director. And of course, next naman, on Saturday naman, we'll be having an event in partnership with the Angular Philippines. So join us at their April meetup and learn from our speaker, Ms. Kay Alvarado, about the introduction to the cloud happening on April 30 from 6 to 7 p.m. This event will be streamed live on their Facebook page, so don't forget to visit their page on April 30 at facebook.com/Angular Philippines. And of course, di pa nang natapos, guys, we have another event, this time in partnership naman with PWA Pilipinas. So for their second Cloud Talks this year, the event will be about learning how to build modern apps that can easily scale to serve the next billions of users. So their speaker, Sir Donnie Pracoso, had already been a guest speaker here at CIS. Kaya guys, if you want to see him again, sali na kayo sa event nila on May 4, 8 o'clock p.m. So you can watch the event for free via PWA Pilipinas Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube channels. And then of course, the e-certificate for this event or yung attendance will be provided. Just make sure to visit or register via this link on the chat box given by Ms. Danica. And the application for AWS Restart are still open. So calling all those who are looking for a job or career shift in IT, you can now become an AWS certified cloud practitioner for free. So with the AWS Restart program. So ang AWS Restart is a 12-week full-time skills development program that prepares unemployed or underemployed individuals for entry-level careers in the cloud. So it is I'm not sure, Sir Bricks, you may contact us on our Facebook page. But again, this AWS Restart is beginner friendly. So hindi po required na magkaroon ka ng background in IT. So if you're accepted into the program, you'll be learning a basic understanding of IT services and their uses in the AWS cloud platform, including the knowledge of core AWS services and use cases, billing and pricing models, security concepts, and how the cloud impacts your business. So the program will take place from May 23 to August 12. Then the date for the second batch registration is extended until May 6, 2022. Kaya sali na kayo, guys. If you want to apply or know more about AWS Restart, visit the www.edukasyon.ph Edukasyon.ph, slash AWS Restart. Again, that's Edukasyon.ph slash AWS Restart. And of course, I have another question for you. Are you interested in earning as you level up as a developer through quests and tasks? So Angel Hack is proud to share that they have been partnering with StackUp to bring you an exclusive peek at their latest Learn and Earn platform. So you can earn more than $500 as you tackle learning quests and follow guided bite-sized learning pathways. So here in this platform, you can learn all about Ethereum, Rust, and Python. So ito na po ang step-by-step kung paano po sumali sa Learn and Earn platform ng Angel Hack and StackUp. Alright, so kita nyo naman guys, we have partnered with a lot of tech communities and organized events just for you. So we have been conducting a lot of events, and on behalf of AWS Club Pilipinas and Edukasyon.ph, thank you to our lovely Igniters so much for attending each one of them and for being so active. So sulitin nyo na rin guys ang last events namin for the week of April, and for the month of May naman, papakita natin sa inyo ano ba ang handa namin next month. There you go. So again, no, on May 4, meron tayong wala pa pala. Ayan, so on May 4, meron tayong event nga with PWA Pilipinas with Sir Noni. And then our next episode will be on May 5 featuring Jerome Pagatpatan. So yeah, just register as early as now. No, kaka-publish lang sa ating Facebook page ang registration form. And then on May 6, yan guys, yan. And then on May 6, meron tayong game development and back-end database using AWS. Very exciting. Pabalik po sa ating monthly calendar. And then on May 11, serverless with Stack League. That's on Wednesday, May 11. And then another CIS episode will be happening on May 12. That's migrating virtual machines to AWS. So I think that's like the first week. And then yun na nga yung the rest of the week. So don't forget not to also invite your parents to our events kasi I think May is the Mother's Day na no soon. So yeah, if you want to, celebrate Mother's Day with us, you can just, mama, nood tayo ng AWS Club Pilipinas events. And lastly, there's also an AWS UG meetup later, no, via YouTube Live. So you can watch it here. You'll get to see Sir Rafi chat with other, AWS UG community members, and even I think mag-test out sila ng isang game. So that's very exciting and you should watch it. I think it's happening right now or but just a bit later. So yeah, you may stay updated with our upcoming events by following us on our social media accounts. And wag yung kakalimutan sumali sa ating Club community. So I'm just gonna wait for ayan na pala yung QR code. Ayan, you can just scan the QR code and again, search for us AWS Club Pilipinas everywhere on social media. And yeah, don't forget to also, sumali na kayo sa ating Club community. It's ever growing. And yeah, lahat ng yan ay nasa Linktree or you may scan the QR code flash on the screen. Now, we would like to announce the top attendee for the month of April is ongoing. So wala pa po tayo. So post lang kayo ng post. There's still a lot of time to win AWS credits worth $20. So all you have to do is to post your CIS certificates per episode and post it on either Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, you should tag us at Edukasyon.ph and AWS Club Pilipinas. Again, also use the hashtags Edukasyon.ph and hashtag AWS Club Pilipinas. So yeah, don't miss the chance to be our top CIS attendee for April. Yeah, I have learned a lot from this 1-hour tech-driven webinar, and I hope you guys learned a lot too. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm so thankful for our speaker again. Thank you so much, Sir Richard. Now I want to take this opportunity to invite you all to a photo op with the speaker. Excuse me, ma'am, pwede po bang PM sa iyo? Yes, you can PM us at facebook.com/AWS Club PH. So again, you can just search us everywhere on social media and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Ayan na nga, nag-open na sila ng cam. Guys, huwag na kayo mahiya sumali sa aming photo op with the belated birthday boy, Sir Richard. Ayan, hello Patrick, hello Dan, Romeo, Rexla, Paolo, Juan. Hi everyone, it's very nice to see you all. Ay, ang popogi at ang gaganda. Ayan, baka na maharap yung the one. Char. Ayan, sige, I'll give you guys like 5 seconds more to open your cam. Hello, Sir Alistair, Sir Rocky, Sir Paul. It's very nice to see you all, Sir Nia. And sino kaya dito ang ating top attendee for the month of April? Again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Smile, guys. Ayan, thank you so much. Sir Dan, nasa biyahe pa ata. Ingat ka po, Sir Dan, sa inyong biyahe. Ayan, thank you so much for joining us in the photo op and bring your brightest smile. And ito na nga guys, moving on. The e-certificates will only be given to those who attended the webinar in Zoom. So please wait for 5 to 7 business days and make sure ma-check nyo lagi ang inbox or spam ng email nyo. Ayan, thank you guys so much for your patience. And that wraps up the 37th episode of the Community Ignite series, A Day in the Life of an AWS Prototyping Architect. So we would love to hear your experience. So to answer our feedback form, please go to go.edukasyon.ph/CIS37quest. Again, that's go.edukasyon.ph/CIS37quest. Yan. So ito po ang ating evaluation form. And dito na niyo po makukuha ang ating e-certificate. Ayan po, Sir Brix, na sa ating screen and chat. And yeah, once again, we would like to thank not only our speaker, but our co-presenters as well. Thank you, AWS and AWS Club Pilipinas. Sabi ni Sir Romeo, shout out daw kay Sir Dan. Go, Sir Dan, kaya mo yan. And of course, ito na nga, lastly, I would like to thank our technical director, Ms. Dani Carrersito, who is also a content creator on YouTube. And of course, the AWS interns, Teya and Pat. Thank you again for coming, guys. This has been Darla David and AWS Club Pilipinas. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, guys. O yun nga, di ba, si Sir Dan, nasa biyahe na nga, nakikinig pa rin. Idol ko na si Sir Dan. Sir Dan, sana all lahat ganyan. Char. Ayan, bye everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye-bye.
You've earned an AWS certification. Congratulations. Now what? Show your employer, colleagues, and your customers that you've met the bar set by AWS experts. Add your digital badge to your professional profiles and email signature to highlight your skills. Share it on your social feeds to celebrate with your network. And offer verification via email or on your resume. Cloud skills are in demand, and you have them. Share your AWS certified achievement today.